This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. And the thing that caught me off guard, Johnny, was
a lot more eccentric than I usually do.
To let you guys inside the room a little bit, like literally, Mark and I pre-record a graphic conversation. Since that is a seasonal one, we kind of pre-record that one. That one's coming in late April. Woo! We just recorded one of the episodes for this year. And it's weird because when he says it, I'm the original man-child. Yeah. You're now the fellow man-child. It's still weird after a time off being moved from fellow to original.
I mean, there's you and me. Is there any other man-children?
I don't know officially. I think Mark's the leader of the man-children.
So we can possibly have a fellowship of the man-child.
Yes, we could. Well, we might. Like, things coming. That's my little tease. I'm just going to drop that little nugget. You guys will forget about it, and then you'll be like, holy shit, this is what Ricky was talking about. But welcome into the Rick and Johnny podcast. This is where we talk nerd stuff, superhero stuff, movie stuff, comics, cartoons, video games, really anything under the nerdy sun is what we look at. Hence the man-child part. Hence the man-child part. But a little bit before we get into it, what we're talking about today, Shazam movie stuff. Woo! Didn't get to talk about it last week. We're going to look at it this week. We're also going to look at the Marvel movie, kind of revisit a topic that we've talked about before of who the hell's going to die in Infinity Wars.
It's important.
Because Kevin Feige came out and said some things about that. And then we're going to react to 3 trailers, Winnie the Pooh, The Grinch, and Super Smash Bros.
3 whole trailers.
Give you guys our thoughts on those that came out this week. But housekeeping before we get into it. Number one, you want to support us, want to make sure we can keep the lights on here at MVP. Check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. You want to catch everything that we're doing, go over to mostvaluablepodcast.com. That's where we put everything. YouTube, the blogosphere, everything. We're in podcast services. That all goes on the website. Also, if you're on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts or iTunes, go ahead and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to us. And if you want an MVP t-shirt, that link, that store, is down below in the description. But Johnny, let's jump right into it. Shazam. So we've had some things going on. So the first thing that dropped was a picture from Zachary Levi, who it was a picture of him in the makeup chair getting his hair done. Looks very Shazam-like already. Looks very Shazam-like already.
I'm sorry, very Boy Scout.
It's supposed to be, though. That's how it's supposed to look like. No,
but with that picture, too, that smug look.
Well, he's
not smug, but
he's trying to go with...
smirk?
I see what he's trying to go with. He's trying to go with the picture of... It's the iconic picture of, like, Shazam's like this as the bullets are hitting him, and he's giving, like, that wink and a smirk. That's what he's trying to go with. Then we get some pictures on Twitter of the costume from @Shazam_film, where we see the red costume, the white cape, very comic booky, the yellow thunderbolt right there in the middle. And then yesterday, as I was researching topics, it looks like this week we have a set video on Twitter from the set, and it looks like a scene where what I am kind of viewing this as is Shazam might have just gotten his powers and kind of like Shazammed in front of a bus. Or,
I saw.
Or he slid in and stopped the bus, and now everyone's coming off the bus, and he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, no, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm okay, as everyone's kind of just walking away because he's kind of doing his comical thing.
My money is on that he slid into the bus, because if you look right behind him,
it's got the tracks.
The tracks, yeah. So he's zoomed like into it, kind of like Superman fast.
I want to ask you this: what do you, with all this coming out, what are your thoughts about Shazam? Like, what should we be thinking about after these first looks at the Shazam movie?
I'm excited for us to go see it. The suit looks really good. It's I want to go with. And hear me out on this, Superman level of the costuming.
Yes.
It looks fantastic. I mean, because they're not just going with a plain suit. They actually, if you look close to the one Shazam costume on Screen Rants, the one, you can see the detail in the actual red part of the suit. It's got texture to it. And I love when they did that. I love when they did that with Superman. And maybe some people don't. I don't know. But
You're talking about the Henry Cavill Superman suit.
Yes, I'm sorry. Henry Cavill Superman. I'm a cosplayer. You know that.
Yes.
And they may know that by now.
The only thing that I think people hated about the Henry Cavill suit is that it was a little darker. Like it was a darker blue,
they
darker
actually toned
red.
it up though in Justice League, didn't they? So no, but I love it because I love the textures they're doing with it. And from what I know, Shazam, I like the addition of that gold trim around the Thunderbolt.
Yes,
because it actually like ties it all together. And then I can see from the pictures, there's enough for the hood, which fantastic. I'm glad they remembered to incorporate that.
Well, and not just that. Like even I'm looking at the picture of Zachary Levi just standing there with his coffee and his earmuffs on. Because I think they're filming in Toronto. It's weird because I think they're filming in Toronto. And someone posted a picture on Twitter. It was a Gotham news van.
Yeah. Ooh.
And people were like, ooh, is it Titans? Or like someone was like, oh, it's Shazam. And someone's like, no. Titans is also filming. It was Titans that was for. But they're both filming in Toronto right now. The thing I like most about it is not just the suit, but like I look at Zachary Levi right now and I go, all right, that's Shazam. Like he's looking the part, and I know that that's not the entire game, but he's looking the part.
At least he's looking the part,
and it's what I know from the cartoons and the comics.
Yeah, and the good part too is from what we're seeing on like the one with him in the makeup chair, he's trying to get the face down too, which is it's a decent part of.
And that was February.
And it's important.
That was February 22nd.
That's important.
That one came out. So that was what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. That was 3 weeks when we got that first look at the haircut before the costume.
I'm trying to pull it back up because I actually
came up as
it.
well. Here's something that I wanted to share with you though, because this is kind of linking it in. Another article that I found while researching for this topic. The headline. You know what? I won't read the headline. I'll actually read what he said, and it goes. Speaking at the Heroes and Villains convention in San Jose, Shazam himself, Zachary Levi, spoke about the upcoming film and teased how it could surprise audiences. This is way back. So this is like in December when he said this, by the way. This isn't recent news. But I think it's interesting coming into it just from what we've seen. Here's the quote that I have from him. James Gunn and the gang killed it. It brought so much heart and humor, and I think it was the kind of dark horse that took everyone by storm. He's talking about Guardians, by the way. I think Shazam kind of has the same possibility to do that, because Shazam is not, for all intent and purposes, it's not Supes. It's not Batman. It's not Wonder Woman. If you look at most Justice League montages or Justice League posts, Shazam is not necessarily one of the characters you put in there.
True.
Except he is in the Justice League. So if we do well enough, ... And then he goes on to say Shazam gets to be a fun, jovial, because he's Billy Bastion. He's 13. It's the movie Big, but with superpowers, which I'm beyond stoked about, by the way, for the Shazam purists out there. And I know there are many of you out there. I understand that the S in his name stands for the wisdom of Solomon, and that's a difficult thing to believe when you're playing a 13-year-old in you who's not as wise as Solomon. So that, to me, is what's going to bring out this movie, to where it's great to where you can look the part, but you also have to sell it. And that's the thing with Zachary Levi. I know we talked about it when he was cast as Shazam, but he's got to bring out that 13-year-old in me. Like, that's what I want. I want him to do such a great job. It brings out the 13-year-old Ricky in me.
What I really want to see is him to bring out the 13-year-old himself, because that's the most important part. Yeah.
By doing that, then he brings it out in me. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Because, here's the thing. He's got to be able to make it believable that there's a 13-year-old mindset inside of him, because
that's what there is.
He's a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
He's just in a superhero's body now. So I'm hoping he can pull it off. I haven't seen we haven't seen trailers, obviously, yet. So there's nothing to go off of that with the acting part. But like I said, costuming's great, at least so far, so that there's one plus there. And then at least like we see in the one picture, he's trying to get the face down, which is part of, in my eyes, it's part of the acting part. If you can at least, most part, attempt to get that down, that's a start. Now, that doesn't prove you can pull out the 13-year-old thing. Let's hope so. Like, those jokes that you made when you were 13 years old. That's what I want to sort of see out of him. You want
to see that mindset or hear that mindset.
Something like
see it.
Something somewhat inappropriate where we would go, okay, and giggle at it.
And there's some other photos too. This is from the Twitter handle at Sean's Movies, where they are photos of, and this is the first look we also see of. I'm going to send you the link in 2 seconds, Johnny. Okay. It'll be through email though, because I don't have my Facebook up.
Boo.
But we see pictures of, like, the one that I like the most is, you'll see it in the bottom corner when I send it to you, is, so it's him and I forget the villain's name, but I know it's the actor who played Merlin in the Kingsman movies.
Oh, okay.
So,
oh yeah, that's right.
It's him going in. So it's Shazam going in for the punch, but he catches it, and then the other hand is around Shazam's neck.
Oh shit.
So it's like, I wonder what that play of action is going to be. Like, does he go in for the punch for the first time? The guy catches it and then immediately hand on the throat, and it's like, you're not as powerful as you think you are, kind of a thing.
I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, that seems, from what you're describing, that seems the most obvious.
And I'm sending it over.
There.
I'm sending it over right now to you. This is something that I just looked up because I'm like, oh wait, we had that too. I just hit sent on it, but that to me is also refreshing. Like, everything that we're seeing, I love it. Like, here's the thing with the whole
great start so far.
Here's the thing with the Guardian thing though, and this is where I think it's a little different. At the time that Guardians came out, there wasn't as much pressure on Marvel that there is on DC right now, and 2, no one really expected anything from Guardians. Like, the Guardian, to me. And maybe you could say that this is in the same vein as Shazam, because, like, yes, I know about Shazam, but I'm not like a Shazam fanboy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to nerd out about just Shazam in general. But, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, I felt like most people were like, yeah, I know who the Guardians are, but I haven't done a deep dive on the Guardians where I've read a lot of their graphic novels and their comics and really know everything about them. There were people like that, but the general populace was not.
I'll be honest. What I'm going to a little bit reiterate on yours. I think more so it's like, honestly, I was even in the vein of this. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first thing when I heard that movie was kind of like, who the hell are they? People like me and you, like, that are like, most of the way there, but not completely over there in the nerd realm of reading comic books daily, are either like, I've heard of them, or who the hell are these guys? So the general populace is like, never heard of them. But the only thing that helped that was the stride Marvel's already made up till that movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? It's a Marvel movie.
I'm going to go see it.
Trust in Marvel.
Yeah. In Marvel we trust.
Thank you. Thank you for fixing that for me. But yeah, I mean, Shazam's, I think, a little bit better known than Guardians of the Galaxy, only because he was in the Justice League cartoons that we had, and I mean,
he was in, like, I want to say, what was it, Justice League War? Yeah, that was the animated movie with Darkseid.
Yeah, he was Justice League War. He was in Flashpoint Paradox.
Was he?
He was.
He was in the beginning, but I don't think he was.
No, he was in the war part where.
That's right.
He's instead of the kid. Spoilers, by the way.
Multiple kids instead of one. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. Okay, that's why I was confused at first, because my first look at Shazam, never looked at him as a kid. Never looked at Shazam as a kid. My first time seeing Shazam was Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah.
So I originally thought, oh, he's 5 kids that join into one, and people are like, no. Yeah, no, it was. Like,
you don't remember him from the Justice League cartoons?
I have seen him before.
Yes.
But, like, the Justice League cartoons, I never really focused on him.
Okay,
so, like, I never knew about his backstory. I just knew what he looked like, kind of a thing.
Okay, wow. Something I knew more than Ricky.
Yeah, like,
wow.
He was the one as a kid, like, it was all about Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman.
He's not the bigger focus of the Justice League.
And that's exactly what Zachary Levi said.
No, I completely get that. I'm just saying, I completely get the comparison. I'm just saying, on levels of that, I think Guardians was way less known than Shazam, though.
Yes.
Because, I mean,
way less.
No offense to DC. This is not me taking a jab or anything. Just saying.
It is a little bit.
If you want to take it that way. The general, like, group of... You guys really only have one major group, whereas which is the Justice League. Am I correct? One major group that a lot of people would know.
Yes, I would say the Justice League, but there's also like Teen Titans, I would say too. So I would say 2.
Okay, 2 groups. Whereas Marvel, we split it up into a shit ton of groups.
Yeah, like I would say at most right now, the big groups that we have that people are like, yes, I know a lot about them. Justice League, Teen Titans, and then Young Justice, which is the kids of most of the heroes that are now. Like one of them is like Hawkeye's niece.
Yeah.
Is in Young Justice.
See,
or like Aqualad.
You said Hawkeye's niece.
Yeah, it is. Or
Green
Arrow's niece. You know what I was thinking.
I'm just giving you shit because I caught you on that.
I didn't even realize. Here's the last question I want to ask to you before we wrap this up, because looking at the IMDb, I'm not seeing it right now. In this movie, do you think, this is prediction time for it, do you think we'll either see Superman or Black Adam? Because there's the Rock rumors. I don't even know if that's true anymore, if the Rock is going to be Black Adam anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But will we see Superman or Black Adam in this movie? Superman mainly because there are times where basically like, not just fight, but it's like, when Superman finds out, oh, there's another being just like me, he comes to check it out. Like, whoa, what's going on over here, bruh? What's going on over here, bruh?
Gonna go...
You gonna cash me outside? How about that? How about that? I gotta throw that out because me and Johnny were talking about that before the podcast. But will we see a Superman sighting in this movie?
I want to say there's gonna definitely be references to Superman for sure because
they're almost the same.
Well, he looks up to Superman.
True.
Superman is his idol, and when he becomes this, he's like, "Oh my god, I can be Superman." The other part of it, maybe even like a cameo, ish appearance, and it's not the correct term,
with
but
a CGI mustache.
It's because of the CGI mustache. No, a cameo-ish. A
cameo-like appearance.
Like appearance, yeah. I know the term's not correct, but it's like we're gonna only.
We try to get there. We improvise here on the Rick and Johnny podcast.
We're all about improvisation. Crap! I forgot how to improvise.
A cameo. That's what you're looking for, right?
Well, it's like one, but it's because cameos,
not quite Stan Lee level.
Exactly. Cameos, I see it as Stan Lee.
Yeah.
This is like, well, we're gonna have him in for like 5 minutes to talk to Billy Baston.
Okay.
Or to talk to Shazam, and maybe even like have a short little.
So almost like a guest star.
Yes, exactly. Guest star. That's perfect. Actually, he's gonna be kind of a guest star. I would love it, and I would think the best way to go about it is if we're gonna have Black Adam. Post-credit scene.
Because we know that Black Adam's not going to be the main villain.
No, it's going to be...
But will he be in it? Will he be a post-credit? That's
the way I would put it in. Since you guys, DC has already decided to not make him a villain.
Yeah.
Which is fine because you don't want to use him right off the bat too soon.
Plus The Rock's a busy guy.
Yes, he is. How'd you get out?
The Rock has, 2 movies? He's got 2 movies coming out this year? Skyscraper and Rampage. Which, by the way, did you see what he posted Rampage-wise?
No, I did not.
So, right after Infinity War moved from where they were like, what, May 13th? Or the week before, like May 7th or whatever.
Yes.
They moved back to the 22nd. He basically made like a funny post about like, oh, Avengers is afraid of me and my friend George or something like that. Basically saying that. I was like, Rock, you don't want that.
No.
You don't want... Marvel get mad and say, fuck it, we're on the 13th. Deal with it, Rampage.
Right?
Deal with it.
Oh, same
now
weekend?
We're going to destroy your numbers.
Yes.
Because the world is going to stop when Infinity War comes out. But any final thoughts before we move on into said Infinity War?
No, I am excited. I want to see I want to see a preview so I can see how his acting is as Billy Bastion. I think I'm saying his last name wrong. Bastion?
Bastion. Or Baston, yeah.
Baston.
I keep wanting to say Bastion because of Overwatch.
Yeah, I do too. I keep
Billy Baston, yeah.
It's Billy Baston. Okay. I want to see how he acts as Billy Baston as an adult.
Yeah, so the adult acting like a 13-year-old.
Yes, I want to see that.
I do too. This movie, I don't want to get super hyped for it. Because
I see it all the time when I do this podcast.
Yeah, because of me. But like, I mean, I want to get hyped for it, but I don't because DC spurred me before.
I
But
know.
I'm hoping this is more on the Wonder Woman track than the
Let's really hope
Justice League
so.
Batman v Superman track. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think. That was a dig at Justice League, by the way. This is not as bad as BVS was, so I'm sorry for Justice League. But
you did that.
I
Dig.
did that too. I was like, I got to say that because
Shame on
Justice
you.
League was not as bad as BVS.
Shame
This is
on
where you
you.
guys come in, though. Let us know what you guys think about Shazam down below in the comment section.